Welcome back. Just like that, it's time for another tax season. And for a lot of people, it can be a time of stress and uncertainty. And for low-income families, it can be hard to afford tax preparation services. Well, luckily, there are some incredible resources in the community. And Liz Thomey, Associate Director of Pio Decimo Center, is here with more. Liz, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Nice to have you. I can't believe we're talking about taxes again. It seems like just yesterday that you were here telling us about the great resources that Pio Decimo is going to offer. So let's talk about what those resources are.
Absolutely. So everybody's getting their tax forms, right? And we offer free tax preparation. We have some really excellent volunteers who've been trained and certified and are just at several locations throughout southern Arizona. So not just Tucson, but also Oro Valley, Green Valley, Ajo, Sierra Vista, Douglas. So just throughout southern Arizona to offer this service.
That's incredible news for anybody who can't afford to necessarily pay to do their taxes, and sometimes it can be a lot. So to have these free resources is amazing. How is it that you can offer them for free?
Yeah, so IRS just actually today got the listing for how much this year's tax cost, and just for a basic 1040 and Arizona taxes, it's about $250. Wow. And so for our families, the average income is about $22,000, and so it's really important to be able to offer that little bit of extra assistance. That $250 goes a long way when you're stretching it with that kind of an income.
Hugely. It's very restrictive.
But our volunteers are the ones who really make it possible. So without them, we couldn't do it, and they are tremendous. We also have a lot of community partners who help us. They provide free space and equipment. And this year particularly, I'd like to give a huge shout out to San Miguel High School. They not only gave us equipment and space, but they also allowed us to train their students. And so some of their students are going to be helping us this year. So we're really excited about that.
Oh, that's so huge to be able to have a place where they, these services can happen, to have an infrastructure built for that is incredible. And if people want a list of locations, because there's going to be many areas where they can go, how can somebody go about getting them?
So the easiest way is just to take your cell phone out and text taxes to 51555.
Okay.
And it'll give a list of the sites and the days that they start opening. A lot of them are already open, and some of them will be opening over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, the W-2s are starting to roll in. I mean, the deadline, I think, is the 31st for companies to give them to their employees. And what should people, when they're going to get their taxes prepared, what should they remember to bring with them so that it's easy and quick?
So they need to make sure that they bring their spouse, if they have one, at least at some point to sign the documents. We have to have both spouses present. But picture ID, photo ID issued by the government, social security cards or individual tax numbers, and then all your regular documents that you would expect. So your W-2s, if you got social security, bring that statement. Your pension information, interest, anything that's related to taxes. And also it's very important, if you want direct deposit, we need that checking account number and routing number. So bring a check, and we'll make sure that you get it a little bit quicker that way.
Yeah, it's always the most efficient way, is just to have them deposit it straight into your bank. And speaking of the refund, how quickly can people expect that they're going to get it?
Okay, so Congress just changed the laws last year. So IRS starts accepting returns on Monday, and for some people, they'll be getting their refunds in about 2 weeks. But if you have a child, if you get the earned income credit or the child tax credit, Congress won't allow IRS to issue those checks until after February 15th. So for people with kids mostly, they won't be getting that refund until about the end of February. So the only way to get it earlier than that is to take out like a refund advance loan or something like that. And that can be really costly, and it's just going to make about a 2-week difference. So. Right.
And so once people do get those refunds, you're encouraging them to do something very specific with those.
Absolutely. So, I think probably for all of us, tax time is like the one time when we have a little bit of chunk of money that we can put aside for a rainy day. And there was a recent study out that showed that moderate income families can expect to have an emergency expense of about $400 or more within 6 months of getting their tax refund. So we're really encouraging people to at least set a portion of that aside for a rainy day. and they can split their refund. So they can have most of their refund go to their checking account for today's needs, and then have a little bit of it saved for that rainy day.
What a smart idea. It's a great moment to be able to get ahead on finances, to put aside that money, like you say, for a rainy day. You never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah, and you know it's going to happen sooner or later, so be prepared, right?
Exactly. Well, Liz Thomey, as always, thank you so much for what you guys are doing. Thanks for coming on and educating us, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for letting me get the word out.
Of course. Now, for a complete list of VITA sites, text taxes to 51555, and for any other questions, visit the website on your screen or call 520-622-2801, extension 7115.